What's up, everybody? Frank Valkyria, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a peculiar reaction because we reacted to Faroeste Caboclo from Legiao Urbana, and you mentioned that I should have paid more attention to the lyrics, even though on the video we had like Portuguese lyrics passing through and I could understand some of the meaning of the song. And also I mentioned that to me it really looked like a script of a movie, like almost a paragraph of a book, because there's quite some lyric going on. But anyway, here I have the lyrics from Faroeste Caboclo, and Legiao Urbana translated into English. And we just tried to grasp more of the poetry, so we're gonna read it together, and also go check the video if you haven't, and if you did, very good on you. You're a very nice person. So you also mentioned that, like I said, I really thought it was like a movie because I could see all those scenes in my head, and you mentioned that afterwards they made a movie. I have to check if it's also in the Netflix here. Otherwise I have to use VPN. Hopefully there is a translation for it, otherwise I don't understand much. So it will be very interesting to see it, and maybe with a reaction or a review of the movie. So the song starts like this. The John of Santo Cristo was not afraid. It was what everyone said when he got lost. Left behind all the farm dog drums, just to feel in your blood the hatred that Jesus gave you. The hatred that Jesus gave you? That's a peculiar way of referencing Jesus. Even more so when with a soldier shot the father died. It was the terror of the Sertania where I lived. And at school even the teacher learned from him. I went to church just to steal the money. Alright, okay, like sometimes those guys, they make a lot of money with, elemosina we call it, they pass the little basket. The old ladies put in altar box. I really felt it was really different. I felt that this was not his place. He wanted to go out to see the sea and the things he saw on television. You saved money to be able to travel. Of his own choice, he chose solitude. I ate all the little girls in town, from playing doctor as much. At 12, he was a teacher. At 15, he was sent to the reformatory, where his hatred increased in the face of so much terror. I didn't understand how life worked. Discrimination because of your class and your color. What this is actual. Like, like you already then, of course, you see that referencing issues in systemic racism in society. Unfortunately, nothing has changed. Well, at least in some places, yes, a lot of progresses have been made. A lot of places are pretty alright, pretty awesome. But as you can see, like stuff that it's happening still today in the US, this is absolutely actual. They're still relevant to this moment. Got tired of trying to find an answer and bought a ticket with straight to Salvador. I don't know why I said jacket. And there we went to have a cup of coffee, and he found a cowboy to talk to, and the cowboy had a ticket and was going to miss the trip, but John went to save you. He said, I'm going to Brasilia. I'm going to Brazil, I guess, or Brasilia, probably area. In this country, there is no better place. I need to visit my daughter. I stay here, and you take my place. And Joao accepted his proposal. And on a bus, he entered the central plateau. He was bestified by the city. Leaving the bus station, he saw the Christmas light. My God, what a beautiful city. In the new year, I start to work. Cutting wood, carpenter apprentice. Earned 100,000 a month in Taguatinga. On Friday, I went to the city area. Spend all your money as a hard-working boy. And I met a lot of interesting people. Even a bastard grandson of your great-grandfather, a Peruvian who lived in Bolivia, and many things I brought from there. His name was Pablo, he said. That a business he was going to start, and that a business, well, Okay, it's a little bit strange that he was going to start a business, and the Holy Christ worked until death, but the money was not enough for him to feed. And at the 7 o'clock, I heard the news, who always said that his minister would help, but he didn't want to talk anymore, and decided that, like Pablo, he was going to get by. Once again, he drew up his holy plan, and without being crucified, the plantation started soon. The madman of the city learned of the novelty. It doesn't make absolutely no freaking sense, this part. Let's see if we can understand. He was going to get by. Y pensaba que como Pablo ella se virar. Elaboró mais una vez seu plano santo. E sem ser crucificado, a plançar for comenzar. Okay. And not get crucified for having started to work at the plantation. Lago logos os maluco de cidade suberam na navidade. Soon the madman of the city learned of the novelty. Novidad, that makes no sense. There is good stuff there. Okay. And Joao de Santo Cristo got rich. So probably is referencing the fact that he found a way of making money fast, most likely drugs. And ended up with all the dealers there, made friends, frequented Asa Norte, probably an area where all those things went down, and I went to the rock party to break free. But suddenly, under a bad influence from the little boy in town, began to steal. In the first robbery he danced, and to hell he went for the first time. Violence and rape of your body, you see, I'll get you. Now the Holy Christ was a bandit, fearless and feared in the federal district. I had no fear of the police, captain or dealer, playboy or general. That's when he met a girl, and all of his sins he repented. Maria Lucia was a beautiful girl, and his heart for her the Holy Christ promised. He said he wanted to get married, and a carpenter he went back to being. He said he wanted to get married and wanted to go back to be a carpenter to have a normal life, a life that was devoid of a chance of being shot dead on the street for dealing in the wrong things or dealing with the wrong people. I mean, like I said, this is an absolutely gigantic coming of age, an evolution of a story of an individual starting from the bottom and ending up, on the wrong side of the road, like Tom Waits said somewhere in some song or interview, I don't remember. So on that wrong side of the road, there's a chance to get killed. But then when you find something that takes you back to a sense of purpose, normality, or makes you see the direction that was wrong, all you desire is to get back to a normal life. Love has that effect. Let's continue and see what happened. Time passes, and one day comes at the door, a high-class gentleman with money in hand, and he makes an unseemly proposal. He said he expect an answer from Joao. I don't put bomb on newsstand, not even in a child's school. I don't do it. And I don't protect a 10-star general standing behind the desk with his ass in his hand. And you better leave my house. Never play with the Pisces of Scorpio ascendant. But before leaving, my hatred in his eyes, the old man said. You lost your life, but before leaving, with hatred in his eyes, the old man said. Okay, now I get it. You lost your life, my brother. You lost your life, my brother. You lost your life, my brother. Okay, this guy like to repeat things very much. This word will enter the heart. I will suffer the consequences like a dog. It's not that the Holy Christ was right. His future was uncertain, and he did not go back to work. Get drunk, and in the middle of drinking, he found that he had another one working for him. He spoke to Pablo that he wanted a partner, and he also had money and wanted to harm himself. Pablo brought smuggling from Bolivia, and Santo Cristo resolved this plantatina. But it turns out that one Jeremiah, renowned drug dealer, appeared there, heard of Santo Cristo's plans and decided that with Joao he would end. But Pablo brought a Winchester 22 and Santo Cristo already knew how to shoot and decided to use the gun only after let Jeremiah begin to fight. He started to shoot just after Jeremiah began to fight. Jeremiah's shameless pothead organized Rocunya and made everyone dance. Divinated innocent young ladies. It was said that he was a believer but did not know how to pray, and Santo Cristo hasn't been home in a long time, and the longing began to tighten. I'm leaving, I'm going to see Maria Lucia. It's time for us to get married. Coming home, then he cried. Beautiful this part. Beautiful this part where, you know, like they want to expand, they want to get bigger, at least that entrepreneurial mind. And it's so funny in a way that you see criminals actually have very good entrepreneurial minds. But then it's complicated because when you try to expand in those territories, competition is not fair, you know? Competition is not fair. A competition bites back. And then you need the Winchester 22 and perhaps also a little bit more. So very fascinating, the whole thing. I can see why this will make like now it's, you know, kind of popular to make those sort of glamorized version of delinquent, you know, like in Italy we had this. Actually, I'm probably one of the few that has never watched the series called Gomorrah, which I think is also Netflix. And I don't much follow those things because you know, I know the reality, you know, like I lived in Naples. I lived surrounded by this reality. You know, normal people, they feel this thing around, you know, also from the neighboring city where those things are a little bit like hedgier, you know what I mean? It's like living closer to, I don't know, dangerous area in Brazil. So you live with that awareness, how to behave on the street, in which place to go at night, in which place not to go. Luckily, things have improved a lot since the 90s when I lived there. But, you know, like, for that reason, I've never sympathized a lot with that kind of stuff, you know, because that's what makes a city ugly, unfortunately, when it can be absolutely stunning. And I'm talking of Naples. So, Maria Lucia, Jeremiah is married, and a son in it he made. Well, that sounds like Yoda talking. And a son was born. Holy Christ was just hate inside. Holy Christ, this poor man, had a lot of hate inside that he could not resolve. And that's probably the reason why he started to go on the wrong side of the road in the first place, because lack of love. You see what traumas as a child in being brought up without love, without affection, without understanding where it can lead. And Holy Christ was just hate inside. And then Jeremiah for a duel he called. Tomorrow at 2 in Ceylandia, in front of a lot 14, that's where I'm going. And you, in front of a lot 14, that's where I'm going. And you can choose your weapon, that I'm really done with you, you traitor pig. I also killed Maria Lucia, that bozo girl to whom I swore my love. And the Holy Christ didn't know what to do when he saw the television reporter who reported the duel on TV, telling time and place and reason on Saturday. Then at 2 o'clock, all the people without delay went there just to watch. A man who shot in the back and hit the Holy Christ started to smile, feeling the blood in the throat. Joao looked at the flags and the people applauding, and he looked at the high screen man and the cameras and the TV people who filmed everything there, and he remembered when he was a child and everything that lived there, and decided to enter that dance once and for all. If Via Crucis became a circus, I'm here, and in that sun blinded your eyes. And then Maria Lucia he recognized. She brought Winchester 22, the weapon your cousin Pablo gave you. Jeremiah, I'm a man. Thing you are not. And I don't shot, and I don't shoot in the back. Wow, this is complicated. I got some of this part, of course, but then obviously the poetry is a little bit skewed because there is always like in between like narrating and then the person talking in the first person. So there's always like this, you know, tension that sometimes I miss because I jump from narrating and then I'm talking as a, Holy Christ here, or whoever is the main character, Santo Cristo. And Santo Cristo with Winchester 22 gave 5 shots to the traitor's thug. Maria Lucia later regretted, and he died with John, his protector. And the people declared that Joao de Santo Cristo, he was a holy because he knew how to die. And the city high bourgeoisie didn't believe the story they saw on TV, and John didn't get what he wanted. When he came to Brasilia with the devil having, he wanted to talk to the president to help all these people who only do to suffer. Wow. I don't know exactly like what this guy had in mind going in town with the devil, and he wanted to talk to the president because now he wanted to help people not to suffer, or we want to help those people who only do suffer. It's also interesting that part where the gentleman dressed goes home. Seems like one of those things, politician sort of like leveraging criminals to be terrorists. Those were difficult times, I suppose, in the past in Brazil. I don't know exactly the time frame, but like probably 60s, 70s. We had similar things going on in Italy as well with the Red Brigade, which literally killed the prime minister. So was I mean, when you think about it, absolutely crazy. If something like this happened today, like freaking inside terrorism against your own government, and the prime minister was shot dead, found in a car. Can you imagine? Like, fucking sounds like crazy, like worse than a movie, like worse than like a thriller, but it's real life. So those things have happened a lot. And again, it's very interesting to see how artists monopolize this whole process. It was fun to try to read, of course, as a story, but there is hiccups here and there of the translation, but I definitely got the whole story. So very, very interesting, the whole escalation, the whole genesis of this character, how it ends, usually in a very dramatic way. The sort of redemption journey that ends always in death. So pretty powerful stuff, and also a huge song. I mean, when I saw the lyrics in underneath the video, I was like, wow, this is gonna take forever. And it's a 9-minute song, and Radarus is just going like crazy. So wow. All right, guys, I'm gonna do more of those lyrics reactions. So if you want to see more, let me know. I'll see you later. Ciao. Please subscribe. It's free.